Hey y'all, Dekumon here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Last time, we cleaned up 5.1 by finishing off the first leg of the 24-man raids, Yorha Dark Apocalypse. And man, those raids are always so crazy. Especially when you don't remember them very well, and I can tell you the next two, probably gonna be even worse. But with 5.1 cleared, it's time to begin 5.2, and that means it's main story time. Back to Kryl, back to the Scions, see if we can get these guys home and back into their own bodies before they dissipate. Plus now we have to deal with Elidibus running around in Ardbert's body. At least I'm guessing that's who's in there. If it's not, then we have another new Ascian running around in addition to the random one we saw talking to Xenos. Assuming, of course, that's even a stinking Ascian at all. After all, I can't imagine an Ascian actually helping Xenos kill Zodiark. I really can't. So who is this guy? Maybe we'll find out. Anyway, Kryl, let's start off with some old enemies and new threats.
Dekumon, my, what a pleasant surprise.
I've only been standing here for 5 minutes.
If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Montoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work.
You and me both.
If only we could go with you to the first and help.
Sorry. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Eh? Oh, Maxima! Ah, Dekumon. It has been far too long, my friend. Haven't seen you in a while. Well?
Forgive me, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Guardian Ambassador. I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Alden, offering what counsel I can in the hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire.
Yeah, this guy's actually on the level.
Ah, yes. I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald, but never mind that. You said you have urgent news?
Indeed. As you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Guardian forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. I would say it's a possible feint, but we already know Xenos killed the Emperor, and they're in the middle of one hell of a civil war right now. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor, who claims that this de-escalation may belie growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Is Gaius back now? Commander Alden has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. Well, lucky me, I'm back from the first tour right now.
It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone. Though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades, I see no reason to burden a single Scion with all this.
Not to mention, I'm not really good at talking, so yeah.
Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Alamegan Quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two! Don't worry, I'll hold down the fort while you're gone.
A bunch of formal bows, a couple nods, and we're off. I thought we'd just go straight to the meeting hall.
Commander Alden awaits us in the Royal Palace. If you would follow me.
I would indeed, I just gotta get in there. Oh yeah, most likely voiced. That looks like Gaius, yep, it is. Oh, this should be a good meeting.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark.
Oh, you have no idea.
Not that I understand half of it. When the science spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm sure we could get Alice to paint you a lovely picture when we get her back.
Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. Well, I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury.
Of course not.
I trust you two require no introduction.
Mm-hmm.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea.
We meet again, Black Wolf. Yeah, we're still a little cross.
Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
Fine. Calm down, me. There we go.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence.
For which I am very thankful. But
Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand.
and yet you're getting all the credit for that in the Empire, aren't you?
Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right.
We're re-experimenting with Ultima. Joy.
The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
Lovely. We can't let that happen.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals, with which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
Oh yeah, like he really needed that reminder.
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended.
Yeah, I destroyed it after you blew up your own base with it.
The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it.
But somebody probably escaped with the research data, right?
But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
The 7th. Of course it was the 7th. Excuse me, I'm going to shut my window because somebody's being very noisy outside. Anyway, back to the 7th. Yeah, this is basically leading into the trial series for Shadowbringers, and we'll get to that once we get through the patch story proper. But the fact that it's the 7th, well, that's probably giving you a hint as to what we're going up against.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandarnus, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery.
Oh, we'll get there, I'm sure.
What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea.
Yep. That'll be our first trial fight we have to deal with this patch.
We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be there. We just gotta get through the patch story first.
before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima weapon and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
And thankfully, said weapon will wait patiently for me to get there.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days. But it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Not quite anon, but soon enough.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first.
I'm on my way.
I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
Same. Alright, sounds like we're headed back to the Exarch. Just not yet, apparently. Cryo first.
As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first.
Oh, that's fine. I will confer with you, and yeah, as you can see, this quest just popped up, which we will deal with later, when we're not on main story time. Alright, Cryo, we're headed back to the first for the way home.
I take it you're ready to return to the first? Then I would ask that you apprise the others of recent events here in the source, namely, Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima weapon. As for the bodies, you may assure them Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Dekumon. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon.
That was a hell of a quick change there, buddy. You alright? Alright, let's head over there. This is just one of those little quick and dirty quests designed to get me from point A to point B.
You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul, and a means to return the Scions home. I trust you two have been making good use of your time.
You could say that. Probably get the others here.
Ill tidings from the source, you say? Then I will summon the others that we might all be apprised of the situation.
Good idea. I'm gonna have to repeat myself. And here they come. Beck-Luke's here too. No Alice though. Oh, she must still be at the damn inn.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source?
Well, short answer is it's not good. We got a new Ultima weapon.
A new Ultima weapon? We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
Yeah, and pledged not to drive the damn thing.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
Great. That's a pleasant thought.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Speaking of, have you made any progress?
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion.
Oh.
Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
Oh.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white morosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one.
Alright, so who's first?
An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
Is this thing gonna pass interdimensional customs, or am I gonna have to shove it up my butthole? Because it looks like it's designed to be shoved up my butt.
However...
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
Okay, and how are we doing that?
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allegan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within Orosite or any other crystal.
You gonna tell me he's gonna have to have him bleed on this thing?
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel.
Oh boy.
I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allegan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past.
Yeah, the Allegans were something. They were also pieces of crap. I still remember the whole Bahamut thing, and Tiamat too.
But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found.
Okay, so while you're doing that, what are we doing?
Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
Well, I mean, I can make it. It's just everyone else is the problem.
My apologies.
Are we missing somebody? Oh, hey, Lana.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness.
Well, present.
But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Oh, then why bother coming inside then? Seriously. You literally could have just caught me on my way out. Or were you afraid I was going to jump back through the swords again?
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
You forget you're basically a messiah to these people, dude. They kind of respect the privacy.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
I mean, it depends on what she wants. Oh, and that's that quest. I'll take one of those. And let's go see what Lena wants. Let me guess, Alphino? Yep, thought so. Alright, let's go seek some counsel.
I must confess, while I enjoyed my fair share of scholarly research, it would be good to step outside for a sport of fresh air. Now then, shall we go and speak with Lena?
We shall. Hopefully she is literally just outside the door here, and I don't have to walk 50,000 feet to find her. Well, not quite straight outside the door, but close enough.
We have little time, so I will be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it.
A Sin Eater? Shit, got a stray.
A Sin Eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night had returned, but perhaps we should call the others. That will not be necessary. It is only a single Sin Eater, A simple task for our guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example.
Let's be about it then. Me? Why not Alpha know? Nah, let's get to it then. Bonus, I get an extra nod for this.
Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job.
Good. 2 nods and 1 teleport later, and we'll be at Fort Job.
If you would wait here a moment, I will gather the others.
Ah, rookies! This should be good.
You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight at your side.
That was a death's door the day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd likely have stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to.
I too was there that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice but to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, filled me with dread. But that is no way to honor her or my comrades, and so I have returned. I swear I will not let you or anyone else down from this day forward. A pleasure to meet you, sir. Truly. It seems like only yesterday I watched as you took flight to Stradinamado to go and save the Oracle. Strange to think the Yomoran soldiers we once locked blade with are now on our side, but we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. We seem to be missing one.
My apologies, Captain Lina. An elderly gentleman asked that I escort him to Claremont.
It took longer than I anticipated. I'll not begrudge your desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to honored guests.
Go, it won't happen again. The name's Thyla. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. Oh, him. I asked you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know I was already talking to him. Don't give up. Don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart, and the boundless beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. My friend got to see the knight's return shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what was to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives for the promise of a future they'll never know, and so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. No matter what happens, we won't give up. We won't give in. Well said.
Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in much the same manner. Our scouts at the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting.
Second patch blues. Well, this wasn't a standard run-of-the-mill Sin Eater, but it looks like you guys already managed to take it out. I must say I'm impressed. Though it's not dissolving, which is odd.
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it.
Huh?
A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
Oh. Let me guess. Ardbert/Elidibus.
By himself. Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. I've never seen anything like it. So I says to him, "Who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?" And he says, "No, I'm a warrior of light." And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
Great. What is he doing now?
A warrior of light?
Yeah, not something you really want to be parading around in the first, trust me.
Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood.
Hey, I already went through this whole questline clearing their names. Knock it off.
I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be him, the Warrior of Darkness.
Hey? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
I love the little half way I was just introduced there. Thanks. Seriously. Ah, there it goes. Now it's finally dissolving. Just took its sweet time. Good.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
I had hoped to fight at your side today, but I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I like his voice.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat.
No, you underestimated the scheme. But I'll still forgive you.
As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias.
Oh, I imagine it's deliberate.
But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Alright.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Fine. Go on, Alphino. I'll catch up.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
This should be good. Alright, Lina.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time.
Understandable.
But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating.
I bet that would have been a fun sight.
Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true. It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was.
Well, to be fair, he went to the Tempest and everything else fully expecting to die, so yeah. Understandable.
He seems a different man. A younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy.
Oh. So what's the problem?
It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there.
I mean, he did basically just prevent a massive bad future at the source. And he got to live through this, so yeah. I mean, at this point, it's understandable.
Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past. Remind him of all the pain that came before.
Oh, no. No, don't even think that. Anchors keep us where we have chosen to be. He's lost without you, you know. And he misses you already. Yeah. Look, Graha's a nice kid, but man, he needs a solid anchor.
Are you sure? Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been.
Oh, you're sweet on him, aren't you?
What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work.
Either that or you're going to try to mother him or big sister him or something, aren't you?
This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
That was a very wholesome little cutscene. We needed that. Especially after the whole Ultima Weapon Mark II crap that's been going on back at the source. Oh dear. Time to start facing the truth now.
I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts.
Alright, time to go see what Alphina's proposal is. Have you guys moved at all since I left? Seriously?
The others were quite shocked to hear of what we found in Lakeland. But now that you're here, there is a proposal I should like to make.
This should be good.
I have been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people perusing the books of history, the years leading up to the Flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light, as well they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as Sin Eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that the sudden appearance in conjunction with this renewed interest in the predecessors may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them.
I too can attest to the falsehoods found within full many of the Cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Ardbert and his comrades.
To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the Flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I'm not surprised to see their roles distorted and then painted as villains.
Were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, that knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. Mayhaps I should go find the Virtue Hunters and give them a bit of a pep. Maybe we can recruit them.
That said, there still remained those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the Flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Felbert.
It was him, wasn't it? I thought it was that stupid Vizier.
That such heroes could be spoken of in the same breath as Sin Eaters is absurd.
Under normal circumstances, I would agree, but as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the Flood. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the Warriors of Light to become villains deserving only of resentment and hate.
At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot.
Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you overcome Emmett Silk, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who knew him only as a villain. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of this sacrifice. To that end, I say we proceed with Alphina's plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium and recount to them the true tale of the Warriors of Light and the Flood that followed in their wake. Well, if nothing else, Emmett Selk will have his story told as well.
Well, what say you, Dekumon?
Spread the word, I say! I wish we had done this sooner. Yeah, no kidding. I really wish we had done this sooner.
In hindsight, I agree, but better late than never, no? Exarch, might I ask you to continue working with Beglug on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium and the Exarch. We have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread and more will accompany them.
That would be good. Talk to townsfolk, I'm guessing. Holy cow, I have to do 5 of these. I cannot believe that. Seriously? Well, I suppose if anyone needs a good talking to, it's Glenard. Well, what to be of the pleasure? Oh, whatever it is, I must ask you be brief. With the night return, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind it though. Seeing the stairs so full of life and excitement, one can almost forget the flood ever happened. Yeah, we gotta talk about that, by the way. And the Warriors of Light. Yes, the Exarch has mentioned them before, but everyone knows them now as the Cardinal Virtues. Or are you suggesting there's more to it than that? I guess. Well, you've yet to steer us wrong, so I'm willing to hear what you have to say. I wonder if this quest would change if I had actually done all the role quests on this character. Bragi, my main market man! Come to browse wares in the market, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need, whatever it may be. Under Yulmor's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is that fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor. Did he really? Little wonder business is booming the way it is. Nice to see he's doing good. I imagine it will be long before all of Novarant reaps the benefits. But you've not come to talk about the market. Something on your mind? Yeah, gather the market men, and women, and children. I see. The Exarch did mention they had something to do with your returning the night to Novarant. Alright, consider my interest piqued. I thought Chesterfield would be number 3.
Oh, Dekumon, my, what a wonderful surprise. So I hope you being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my door of late, which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had fewer opportunities to test my new medications.
Oh dear. We are not your test subjects, lady.
I jest, of course. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and again.
Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to take one of those moments.
Oh, the truth about the Warriors of Light. But the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to the tale, I'd very much like to hear it.
Good. Should have known I was going to be talking to you as well, Catless.
Well, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from Grenold not long ago. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him at the bottom of the ocean and that he inspired him to reach new artistic heights.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that was fun. Wait, does that make you... No, it doesn't. You don't look anything like her.
Well, I can only think of one person capable of both feats, though I'd say the latter is far more impressive. To think fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. I'm sorry. You mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left unsaid, I'm all ears.
And last but certainly not least, Master Morin.
No, this can't be. Surely there is at least one book here that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light.
How about just hearing it straight from the source, my man? The old books probably were lost.
Oh, Dekumon! Forgive me, the Cabinet of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors of late, but I fear our repository lacks for the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the flood, of the Warriors of Light. I have searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than sin eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know they will not always judge so harshly, yet I can find no proof, and I dare call myself a librarian.
It's not your fault if you don't stock the books, you don't stock the books.
You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light, of the flood? Oh, how wonderful! You have regaled me with the tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will not come alone.
Well, good. That was the plan. Alright, Alphino, I think we've basically going to be rounding up everyone in the Crystarium, including all the women and the children and everyone in between.
Oh, there you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept the Crystarium from top to bottom. Now, we need but wait for the people to gather.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be voiced. Oh, that's a lot of bodies. Well, Alphano's never had a problem with stage fright, at least not recently.
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we? Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
Oh crap. You want the silent protagonist to do this. Alright, this should be good.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Aren't you all Warriors of Darkness too?
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
Oh boy. Well, this should be good and entertaining. I'll be honest, I don't do good with big crowds like this in real life. So, thankfully my character can cover the story for me. And we'll show it through flashbacks. The Warriors of Light and their adorable Amaro instead of a Chocobo. Because Chocobos are silly. Like Amaros are any better. Yep. How we saw them as the Warriors of Darkness in the Source. How they gave of themselves to stop the flood here in the first. I imagine that's the next big scene, right? Yep. And then Ardbert being left behind, and then saving my ass with Emmett Selk. Seriously.
Wicked White. The Warriors of Light did all that?
Mm-hmm.
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
Hopefully not much longer. Oh, that was fun.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air.
Good. Oh, son of a bitch! I can see you walking up there, Ardbert, or I should say, Elidibus. Yeah, he's even got the evil smirk on.
Impossible.
Nope, just irritating. You can see him too? I take it I'm not imagining this then. Yeah, no. I feel like, wait, you can see him?
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
No.
Nay. Yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
Oh, come on, seriously? How have none of you figured this out? How much experience do you have with Ascians? Seriously, the moment Xenos rises, everyone's first thought was, oh, it must be an Ascian.
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
Called it.
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may.
This should be good.
People of the Crystarium, I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a warrior of light.
No, you're just wearing his flesh around like a frickin' skin suit.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the Warrior of Darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when he must return to his home.
I was trying to avoid that part, man. Seriously.
But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
So that's his plan. He's trying to tip the balance back in Light's favor. Trying to send this world off the edge again.
Warriors of light? None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
Oh dear.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Good idea.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
All right. Oh yeah. Definitely the characters are suspicious. In fact, I'm pretty sure at least my character has already figured it out. The Warrior of Darkness is no fool. Most of the time.
So, that is a warrior of light of the first. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
God, if only.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
I'm gonna say no, because I'm pretty sure Ardbert's soul is rejoined with mine. No, absolutely not. It looks like him and sounds like him, but it isn't him. Yeah, no. Strong, vehement denial. I already know where Ardbert is.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yeah, speaking of, did you see anything funny about him?
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
Yep, Uranje's hit the nail on the head.
That he is an Ascian.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree.
Yeah, it's always gotta be a weird thing. Walking around in a corpse.
From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes.
Yeah, up until Vothri dug up the other four and decided to turn them into the virtues.
Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus.
Elidibus.
Yeah, Uraj has definitely got some feelings about this particular character.
That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known. Thus evicted from his borrowed form and cognizant no doubt of Emetzelk's failure here in the first,
he decided to try and do it his own way.
'Tis quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen? My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light.
Yeah, that was fun.
On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. It was only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
Like now.
And they have gained much by it. Emetzelk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while the Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion.
Yeah, I assume I have the Echo to thank for that.
Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Yeah, maybe the jar is a little too full with all the extra rejoined souls in here, although I suppose Thancred would be in a similar state. Yeah, I'm gonna say
Whatever
Echo.
the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps?
I would suspect so. I mean, I'm guessing the blessing's on the soul and not the body.
Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary.
Well, I'll leave us in suspense, man.
I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent.
Good.
Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat. And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association.
Ah, thank you. Still.
That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
Too obvious.
'Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
God dang it, Alphino. Oh, that's the end of the quest. Sweet. I'll take some more silver pieces for some more gil. Well, this has certainly been an interesting experience. Anyway, I think this is a good spot to stop for now. So, if you've enjoyed this, please leave a like and favorite, and subscribe to join me for more adventures in Novarant. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.